Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr, and this is episode 100. Yes, we've reached 100 episodes. Very excited. This is The Last Zombie Hunter, Part 9. And if you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. And here we go. I spoke with Mackenzie later. Did you see anything that indicated who those people are? Any symbols on those dark blue jackets? Though they'd been the color of police or FBI jackets, there hadn't been any writing or symbols that I had seen. No, Mackenzie said. If they can herd the zombies, are the zombies safe for us now or not? I wondered aloud. Mackenzie just shook her head. Somehow, I don't think so. How could they have changed so quickly? It was only a couple of hours from the grocery store attack to the scene by the creek. In my solitude, I had learned to talk aloud to myself, and fortunately, Mackenzie could tolerate this habit. I hate to say it, but I think we need to find out who those people are. They may be able to save us. Perhaps they have a scent or something that they use on themselves to make the zombies harmless. Maybe they'll take us in. Or maybe they're dangerous. If so, we need to find out, just as much. Agreed, Mackenzie said. Besides, if they really do have control of the zombies, if they have any kind of numbers, they will check the whole city eventually for survivors, whether to save or kill them. And this house, I hate to say it, looks like a survivor's hideaway. It's fine against zombies, and it's just far enough off the main road that you haven't got a bunch of humans knocking on your door besides me. But any person who goes by and sees all the boarded windows, they're going to think something's up. Yeah, my guts had turned over. She was right. All the more reason to do this soon. Here's a thought. We've been going outside during daylight because we can see, but their eyesight isn't all that great, right? But at night, they can home in on us pretty well by sound and so on. But I don't want to go after those people in the daylight. Too easy to be caught. They were all armed, like us, but the numbers advantage was big, just with the, 8 or so we saw? And there could be more, a lot more. I took a moment to collect myself. I think I'll go investigate in the early morning. Hopefully, if I run into them, they'll be asleep, minus any guards they may have. And I'll just deal with the zombies as best I can. I'm coming with, Mackenzie said. I thought about this. If this was pre-Big Z, it would be out of the question. She's a kid on her first period, for Christ's sakes. But it isn't. Just by surviving this long, she's earned the right to make her own decisions. Okay, I said. Time to clean and check our guns, do some thinking and planning, and then get some sleep. Out of paranoia, I watched all of my spy holes that evening. Then I went to bed. We had no working clocks, so we set our alarm the old-fashioned way. We drank a lot of water. Sure enough, I had to get up to pee in the wee hours of the morning, and when I woke Mac, she had to as well. I handed her a dark blue windbreaker. It wasn't too different from the ones we had seen the humans wear. I had a dark blue jeans jacket that wasn't as close, but at night might pass. After preparing for our trip, we headed out slowly. By avoiding all outdoor activities after nightfall, I had nearly forgotten how the cool air tended to make sounds carry. We had to be slow and careful. Even lowering the rope ladder seemed to be a very loud series of noises. But we got to the ground without a problem. We had agreed to leave the ladder down. The ladder was not easily visible from the street at night, so the likelihood of a new human coming across it was small. We didn't want to follow the roads. Instead, we'd agreed to head down to the creek and go in the direction the people in the dark blue jackets had been herding the zombies. It was terribly dark. We brought our flashlights, but did not use them, not knowing where enemies, living or dead, might see us. They were for emergency use only. Our eyes had adjusted pretty well, and it was a clear night, with a bit of starlight and a half moon. Soon we could hear the trickle of the creek. I wish we could have gotten more water, but that was not the goal of this journey. Though I did not need the water, my mouth almost ached for a taste of the sweet, non-bleached water it would hold. We turned and followed the banks of the creek in the downstream direction, which is where they had gone. Though I knew the neighborhood pretty well, it had been some time since I had walked down the creek. There were paths on both sides, however, and it slowly came back to me, even in the gloom. I touched Mac on the shoulder. "This'll go right past the high school pretty soon," I said. "Yeah, that's right," she'd agreed. "It might be kind of open, dangerous." Okay. We slowed down. Then, up ahead, around the next bend and past some trees, there was a glow. It wasn't the morning sun, which wouldn't be coming for an hour or more, and besides which would be coming from the other direction. But it was a warm, orange glow. We continued, more frightened of this change than by anything else in the dark. We stopped right before a final strand of trees before a large open area. The high school was there, though the path and the creek continued up the right side. This side of the high school contained the football field and the stands. There were a number of men with guns around the perimeter, in twos, but they looked bored and listless. They were talking to each other. On the field, partly to one side, a huge fence had been erected, forming a cage. In it were innumerable moving figures. They had to be zombies. Then the breeze drifted from their direction, and I knew they were zombies. Nothing else had that charnel smell. If it was stronger, I might have felt queasy. So, dozens, maybe scores, even a couple hundred zombies, and some living humans in their line of sight. Yet they weren't moaning, not more than a slight occasional groan. And the guards were all facing away from the zombies. Even if I were set to guard a place, it would take a long, long time before I could do it with my back to zombies, fence or no fence. So these people were clearly the herders, and whatever made them able to control the creatures kept them from becoming aggressive. The whole field was lit up by a couple of fires, which seemed to be created on top of 50-gallon drums, possibly to raise the light up higher so it would go further, or to prevent big shadows anytime one of their guards passed in front of them. Then, almost in unison, the men started moving. They were patrolling. Apparently their stationary positions had been a break of sorts. Mackenzie and I instinctively backed into the woods a bit more. We didn't know exactly how close they might come. It didn't save us. Maybe it was our eyes reflecting in the light, maybe a button on my jacket. But the closest guards shouted, "Someone over there!" And they all came running. We ran. We also heard the moaning of the zombies suddenly turning into a roar. They were releasing them, I thought, like hounds on our trail. And that's the end of the episode for this week. So we'll continue next week with Fred and Mackenzie now having to deal with this latest problem. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, CryptoBiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. And thank you for listening. Words and music, copyright 2019, CryptoBiography LLC, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.